Good day, everyone. I'm Justin.
And I'm Taylor.
And you're listening to
The FallCast.
Taylor, I gotta tell you today, I am a tad bit disgruntled. I am mildly perturbed.
What has gotten you so mildly perturbed, Justin?
Well, like I mentioned in the last episode, I'm going to be moving soon. So in the sense, I have to start saving money. And I started going through all my receipts and everything like that. And I realized I spend more money than I really should.
Could that be because you buy literally a mortgage's worth of ribs?
Ribfest did run me a pretty penny, I'll tell you that.
But is it regular purchases that are really bugging you the most?
Regular purchases that are bogging me, I got Chinese food. I buy a lot of Chinese food and I'm not happy about that.
All right, now level with me just a little bit. How much Chinese food do you buy on a weekly basis? In a regular week, run me through your week.
I probably buy an order of Chinese food, which is like literally just chow mein and some chicken. I probably do that like once every 3 weeks.
Once every 3 weeks? Not too bad.
All right, that's a lie. Probably like twice every 3 weeks.
No, I think we're getting closer to the actual number here. Are you ashamed of how much Chinese food you eat on a regular basis, Justin?
I'm ashamed to talk about it. I'm not ashamed while I'm consuming it.
This is a safe space, Justin. It's just me, you, and the entire internet.
I guess by now I'm coming across as a gelatinous mass.
Justin is not a gelatinous mass. He works very hard on a regular basis and just enjoys food. But you know what? Sometimes, maybe Chinese food every week, which I think we're getting closer to the number here, is something that we need to talk about.
You know what? Chinese food isn't even my worst problem.
What is your worst problem?
My worst problem, and this is the worst part, I was in denial for the longest time, but I guess now I'm a collector.
Aw, jeez, you are a collector.
When we were out that one time, and I'm like, oh, I'm not a collector. And what did you say to me?
I'm just like, well, you're kind of a collector of Green Lantern stuff, because that's the kind of stuff Justin collects. And I was like, hey, yeah, well, you are a collector, so this is a really good place for you. And you said,
I just happen to enjoy enjoy this kind of thing.
But he enjoys it so much that, like, whenever he buys, like, paraphernalia from, like, any other comic book shop, whether it be masks, whether it be action figures, comic books, anything, it's always that one character, and it's gotten so much so that he presents it. An entire wall in his room is dedicated to the Green Lantern.
Yeah, it's a pretty good, like, decent shelf display.
How are you not a collector, though?
I gotta say, I'm 100% a collector, but oh my god, I'm looking at it now.
We were having a hoarder's moment. Look, you know, it's not too bad now, but just know what you are.
When I was shopping for Green Lantern stuff, I realized that not only do I have a Green Lantern tattoo, not only do I have Green Lantern clothing, not only do I have action figures, but recently I bought my girlfriend Green Lantern earrings. So I've gotten to the point now where I'm decorating my significant other.
You have a legitimate problem. We recently went to a con, and that's the birthplace of spending way too much money on fan paraphernalia.
I hit that floor, and I probably spent more money in the first day than I did the rest of the weekend.
Oh, for sure. And like our buddy, we'll call him Schmitty. Our buddy Schmitty.
Good old Schmitty.
Like, the only reason he went there was to buy stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, just order them online, dude. What are you doing?
Oh, come on. You can't really say order online. Half the fun of collecting is the experience of finding it. For instance, when we were at the convention, we weren't even at the convention when I found my best find of the weekend.
Yeah.
And that was a posable Green Lantern figure that is styled in the vintage sort of Stretch Armstrong sort of design. It's so cool. I didn't even get it at the con. I get where Smitty's coming from when he's like, yeah, I go specifically to shop and find things that I normally wouldn't buy on eBay.
I guess that, like, half the thing is, like, when you look at each thing, it's like a story in itself. Like, oh, we went out to this, like, little bargain shop and I grabbed this sweet action figure.
One instance that I lucked out quite a bit was when we were at the convention. I saw this pair of Green Lantern stud earrings, and I'm like, how much are these? And she goes, 15. And then I went back, and I'm thinking, hey, you know what? I've never bartered before.
If you're ever with Justin, like, anywhere, and, like, because, you know, you go into, like, small shops like this, like bargain stores and, like,
convenience stores,
they expect you to barter a little bit. Like almost anywhere. And Justin just never does. He's like, I accept the price that this is and here's my money. But if he ever sees something that's too much, he's like, that's too much. I'm just like, but you could barter it down.
In this one instance, bartering saved me. It was a bit of like a mom and pop shop that were running the booth, like a little bit of an older couple. And I go up and I'm like, hey, because it's the last day of the con, would I be able to get that for 10? And then I pointed to a Green Lantern coaster, because that's now a thing I own. And I said, or could I get a deal for 15 for the earrings and then get a deal on the coaster? And she was like, you are the most polite young man I've seen today. You can take the coaster for free.
That makes me think, though, you were the most polite person she saw today. You know how many people she's seen? What were the other people like?
Going to guess not polite.
Ugh, that's the worst. You gotta be nice to people selling stuff.
Sometimes you can barter them down and it saves you a lot of money, especially when you're running through preemptively buying stupid things. Like, I bought a kayak at the beginning of the summer that was absolutely ridiculous.
Could you hold the phone for 1 second and tell everyone about this kayak?
All right, so I went into town with my brother, and we happened to swing by this outdoors place that sells kayaks. And I'm like, this is a cool kayak. It had a waterproof hatch, foot pedals, padded seats. It was like the Rolls Royce of kayaks. And normally it's standard to get like an 8-footer. No, I had to go all the way to 11 feet.
11 feet. What was the obstacle?
I don't drive.
Also, you're landlocked where you live right now, right? There's no body of water within a even 15-minute walk.
Nope. 20-minute walk to the water.
It's not like you're gonna portage that kayak all the way to the water. No, you need someone to drive you.
Or I need to build a cart, which I attempted to do.
This cart, is this like a chariot kind of style? Like, what are you dragging it behind?
So it was a 2-wheeled cart I made out of PVC pipe. It failed miserably, and that was the moment I realized, hey, this was a bad idea.
Were you trying to drag it behind cars or people?
I was trying to drag it myself.
Okay, when you originally told this story to me, I thought you were trying to drag it behind a car, and I was like, yeah, no, that probably wouldn't work. But no.
Nope, it was just so shitty, it just collapsed. And that was that moment I'm like, I've made a mistake, I have to get rid of this thing.
So, this kayak, tell me, what situation were you in when you bought this kayak? Because I'm genuinely curious. How could you possibly buy like a kayak and all of the stuff with it on a whim like that?
I'd been thinking about getting a kayak, and the only reason I bought it is because I was sitting there with my tax return in the bank thinking I've wanted one for a while.
Hey, I'm moving soon. You know, my computer's breaking down, but you know what? This kayak in particular, I'll take it.
That's probably the most ridiculous purchase I've ever bought.
I think that's the most ridiculous purchase anyone has ever bought.
I think we could get bigger than that. Like,
you couldn't even walk away with it.
No, I'm pretty sure that it could be worse, though.
It's like you bought a circus giraffe. You can't feed a circus giraffe. You don't have the yard to keep it in. You can't even enjoy it.
No, but I could just keep it in my house. I just have to raise the roof by partying with my giraffe.
What do you think the most ridiculous purchase anyone has ever made would be?
I feel like it was made by a guy trying to, like, impress a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, baby? I'm into Mustangs. Like, and then just buys a Mustang.
I mean, Rolls Royces. And then it just kind of pulls up. And then every time she mentions a new car, he's just, like, sweating and, like, punching in his phone and, like, getting new cars.
I feel like the most wealth spent in America and Canada today is based off of guys trying to impress girls and salesmen capitalizing on guys trying to impress girls.
If you walk into a car lot and you're with your buddy, it doesn't matter what you walk out with. I'm thinking, like, if you leave with just, like, it's you and your buddy, that's not going to be a problem. You just drive away, your buddy doesn't care because he's in the passenger seat and he's not walking. If you have a girl on your arm in a car dealership...
And then you walk out without a car.
And you're also going to walk out without a girl on your arm.
Well, we can take the bus, though, right? It's good for the environment, you know?
The worst part is, I was thinking about that. Because I don't drive, I've run into this little bit of a problem where I'm like, well, how are we going to get around? And I'm like, I'm going to take her around on the bus.
There's nothing sexy about taking the bus. Nothing.
No, if anything, it's like, it's quirky at first because it's like, here's a tour of my town. And then you just kind of take the bus and point things out. But if you're on the bus more than once, that's kind of bad.
You know, there's a certain joy, and I'm a car owner. I drive my car around.
And he drives me around.
Yeah, I drive you around. I know that particularly well. We'll talk about it later.
So much sting.
Justin's not a fun person to drive with all of the time. No, but there's a certain amount of, joy you get when you look over and you see, oh, this girl who's with me, she's in the passenger seat of my car. This is our destination. We're going. There's nothing sexy about that, about riding the bus.
No, not one bit. It's like, hey, what do you think of my extremely long limousine?
Hey, look, I've got a year pass so I can use it whenever I want. I saved a lot of money on this, and I'm already saving money by taking the bus, so...
Also, instead of going out to dinner tonight, I got food stamps.
I am a savvy investor, and I will, min-max life to the best of my ability. So, Justin.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about how sometimes you're not the best passenger.
No, not one bit.
Ever since I got my license, and you've driven with me and have felt comfortable enough to drive with me in a car, we've had some situations go down.
We have.
So do you want to talk about the most recent one?
Oh my gosh. Are we talking the trip to Hamilton?
We are talking the trip to Hamilton.
Oh boy.
So this one involves our good friend, Schmitty.
Is it Smitty or Schmidt?
You know what? It's however we feel like calling him at that point.
Schmitty.
If he's making a really bad decision, he's Schmitty. If we like him, he's Smitty.
Gotcha.
Let's wrap this little story, because it's a story. Let's wrap it in a nice little bow. We are going to Con Bravo.
This great convention located in Hamilton, Ontario.
Previously dissed in the last episode.
As it was not only the place I was born, but we also happened to be crashing there because my grandmother lives in that city.
And it smelled bad in some areas.
There's never going to be an episode here where I'm not going to diss Hamilton. The second we were over the bridge going from Toronto to Hamilton, the first Pokemon I caught was a Coughing.
Aw, that's like perfect. That's like the smog Pokemon right there.
And then I caught a Drowsy.
Yeah, stoners and pollution, I get it. It's Hamilton. Let's talk about you as a passenger on the ride up. So we were driving up all the way from undisclosed location that's like 3 hours away, and we were driving to Hamilton. You have to go through Toronto, which is our biggest city. It's kind of a hassle.
And the worst part is, he didn't even let me sit in the front seat from the get-go because I don't have that great of navigation skills. He literally was like, you sit in the back, Schmitty here is going to be my navigator. But that didn't exactly work out.
Okay, well, Schmitty was my navigator to driving you to the airport, which happened another time, which went really well because we went in the middle of the night. We went during rush hour, which was stupid. So we had to get there, and you know what? I don't really need a navigator for the first part, but when you're in Toronto, you have to merge off to different lanes, so it's good to have somebody telling you where to go.
And it's the only time that the shotgun position is actually allowed to hold a gun. Canada's weird.
A little bit. And I mean, like, at this point, Justin's sleepy, because, we wake everybody up, and we try to get them as best we can into the car, and then we want to go because we want to get there at a reasonable time.
Yep. And the problem was, none of us woke up on time. We all slept in. We wanted to be on the road by 10 a.m. I don't think we got onto the road till 1 p.m.
It was not ideal, as the French say.
Not ideal.
Ha ha ha. It's the worst that's what we think of French people as. Like, that's it. Just as their base stereotype. So we're on our way to Hamilton.
Yes.
Schmitty
is in the front seat.
Justin's in the back seat. When we're up in the main, kerfluffle of traffic, and I'm like, Schmitty, where do we go? And he's like, turn onto this road. It was a toll road, so I would have to pay a toll, but it'd be a lot faster. And I was like, I don't want to take the toll road, man. Where do we go?
We ended up taking another exit and going completely around, trying to think where to go, and then we ended up back on the toll road.
But when we took the exit into downtown Toronto traffic during rush hour.
Oh, no.
You say, oh, no. I was driving. It was not fun.
I remember specifically, I'm in the back sleeping because I don't stay awake during long rides. And I'm waking up to these two almost screaming at each other.
Schmitty's GPS was like, take the toll road. And I was like, don't take the toll road. And so Smitty's GPS was like, all right, exit. And so when I was exiting, it only just tried to get us back onto the highway so that we could go on the toll road again. So I was like, just read the map. And Schmitty was like, I'm just doing what the GPS says. And I'm like, use your own brain, Schmitty.
Then the worst part is, I had woken up, and now I'm like, guys, can you stop yelling? And they're like, we're trying to sort this out. And I'm like, okay, just, can you not be so, like, angry?
You're in full-on, Mom, Dad, don't make me choose territory. You were not having us arguing.
No, I didn't want it, but you did not care at that point. It escalated when we started taking pot shots at each other's phones. It's like, your GPS isn't working, let me use mine.
But they're all the same app.
Same app, same directions.
It's just different user interface. So it's just like, oh, this one looks better. Ugh.
So then we had to give it the old fluff it and just take the toll route, because by this point we had lost 2 hours.
We wasted a lot of time in downtown Toronto because we did the loop and then we did the exact same thing twice, and it was just not good. But the worst part about it wasn't Smitty yelling at me. It wasn't us being stuck in downtown traffic. It was Justin peering up his head and being like, "Don't fight, you guys. You're hurting my feelings." It's like, I'm trying to get us out of the situation. Without me, there is no adventure.
It wouldn't have been as horrible if it wasn't the thing that woke me up. You guys had time to gain your anger and build it up to the point of road rage. I got a crash course in road rage.
So eventually we did get there, and we did spend a lot of money. I think it's a perfect way to end off the theme. Like, we went from spending money to going to a con and spending lots of money. That was not the biggest waste of money, because I enjoy all the things that I bought for myself.
I spent more money on food than I should have.
What did you buy while you were there?
Well, I'll throw out a little review here. We went to a place called The Works, and The Works is this gourmet burger place. Delicious. But where do they get off charging $15 for a burger?
And nothing else.
Yeah, it's like, would you like a side of fries? And the fries are extra.
I wanted a burger, and I wanted the suggested beer pairing with it. Yeah, it came out to $23 for just dinner.
I just wish they had a smoking area and they gave it a cigarette with the meal, because normally after I have a big thick piece of meat like that, I like a cigarette after I'm
I think that's a good place to end it off, Justin. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Justin.
And this has been
The FallCast.
See you guys next time.